Welcome back to another magical episode of the Chosen Life podcast. I'm your host, as always, Jonathan A. Cohen, author of the Bible 3.0. It's a new year. It's time to get systems in place and be the best us that we can be. Check it out: Amazon, Indigo, Barnes and Noble, wherever they sell fine books. And it's available as an audiobook too. And you can listen to my voice. If you can't sleep, I'll help you fall asleep. And with me, our first time ever guest, reoccurring, my sidekick in life, my wingman. I get to be his wingman sometimes too. He is the one and only George Tremis. GT, welcome back to the Chosen Life.
Thank you, brother. It's a pleasure as always.
So we need to catch up. It's the new year, we're talking a little bit off air. Firstly, we're talking beards,
Yeah.
And since before we saw each other, I had like a shadow. Now I got this wise man beard going. And it's amazing, sometimes we do things because we feel it, and sometimes we need to listen to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I had about a week where about 3-4 people said to me, "We used to have that beard. Where's the beard? I want the beard." And when everybody from different walks of life, when people come to me and tell me, you know what, I take it in. Went to go see my barber. I said to him, "Shadow, you got a great barber when his name is Shadow with a $sign for the S." So I'm like, that's my guy. So shout out to Shadow. No E, no W. And so Mr. Shadow says to me, "You know what, man? I can see it. You got the face for the beard. Let's do it." We are now 2 months later, and we're in Zen beard mode. How you like it?
Told you it suits you. It really does. And it adds that air of intelligence, wisdom, and maybe even a hint of mystery.
It's a pleasure to have it. I gotta say, it is a lot of work because I don't have that much on top here. So, at least I can do it on my face. But for all the guys out there that are saying, am I a beard guy, not a beard guy? The key to the beard is simply make sure you have a good barber. Make sure you get to the barber every 2 weeks, religiously, 2 weeks or less. Get them to line it up for you, clean it up. They'll tell you when to grow it in. Because I told them I have a patchy beard. It's not going to work for me. Grow it in long enough. There's no more patches. So trust your barber. Get a good barber. And then every couple of days, just clean it up a little bit. Guys have great beards, but their neck is covered. I don't get it. Clean up the neck, guys. Let's put a little bit of work. It takes, what, a minute? 30 seconds, 2 minutes.
They've already done a beard lineup. You just have to follow the line that they did for you.
And you don't have to go anywhere near the line. Just get rid of the neck, get rid of the top, under the nose, boom, you're done. So that's beard time. Georgie.
Yeah.
I got to jump right in because I was asking you a question, and I thought to myself, I was sure I messaged you and had a big announcement for you. I didn't tell you the big announcement.
I see that sparkle in your eyes. I know I'm in for something.
Are you ready to have your mind blown?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Do you like to talk?
Of course.
Do you talk every day?
Yeah, in many different ways.
In a given day, would you say several hours of talking probably?
Quite likely, yeah. Spent a lot of time on the phone. Driving here, I was on the phone the whole time. That was at least 45 minutes.
Do you like listening to people?
Yeah, I listen to Audible when I'm not talking on the phone.
Okay. So you like listening to Audible, like hearing people talk, learning. You like being on your phone?
Not so much. It depends. You mean like messaging and stuff?
Well, just in general, you're waiting at the doctor's office, you're in between meetings, get to go read the news, scroll a little bit, check emails.
Yeah, I do that for sure.
It's not bad having it, right?
Yeah.
At home, cooking, unwinding at the end of the day, putting on some news or your favorite show. That's fun to do, right?
Yeah.
So, what if I were to tell you that I'm going to enter a magical world very shortly? I put myself on a waiting list a couple times. I got the confirmation very recently that I have been accepted. I am off in a very soon amount of time, weeks away. I enter this magical world. I hand over my phone. Phone is off. There's no phone now. There is no TV there. There's no radio. There's no computer. There's no internet. Nothing. There's no pieces of paper. There's no pens. There's no books. You have to bring your clothes. They provide you with some cushions. They give you a bed and a shower. For 10 days, Mr. George Tremis, I will be doing zero talking. Nobody will talk to me. I get to eat, sleep, walk, and most importantly, meditate. I am off to a 10-day silent meditation retreat and go find Zen and enlightenment. What do you think?
I think 10 days is a big initial commitment. I can't even think of anybody that I know of that spent 10 days without saying a word, let alone not saying a word, but not on their phone. So it's interesting because you're a very conversational guy. We can have big conversations. You always have something worthwhile and insightful to say. So I can't imagine you've spent 10 days without saying anything ever in your life.
Believe it or not, I spend a lot of time on my own.
I do believe that.
And that time I spend on my own, usually it's cooking. I love cooking. I love eating well. I love to put good food in my body. And I enjoy the peacefulness of it. Maybe many times I'll have the TV on in the background, but I'm not talking to nobody. The phone is off in another room somewhere. And I just cook, just clean up the kitchen, and I go into my own world, and I love it. And I started thinking, what if I got this magical world that I got to do this for 10 days? Except I don't have to cook. I don't have to clean. I don't have to do laundry. Don't have to organize my house. Don't have to make sure there's gas in my car. I don't have to listen to people's complaints and requests for advice at 11 p.m. I don't have to check my phone. There's no emails. Nobody's looking for me. Nobody can reach me. I don't have to deal with anything for 10 days. I get a full mental break away from it all, and I just get to be for 10 days. To me, I looked at it as how much. So, because a lot of people ask me, like, how are you going to survive this? How are you possibly going to be able to shut down and do this for 10 days? And my thoughts were, man, I 10 days is not enough. Like, give me 30 days. Because it's so funny, Georgie. So this place, Vipassana, it's called.
Okay. Yeah.
They have centers all over the world. And people, like, the signups for this thing, by the way, is utterly insanity. So what happens is,
Yeah, you said you're accepted, right?
so the way it works is like this, right? They have a calendar. They tell you what days they're going to have these different events. Now, sometimes they have 1 day, sometimes 3 days, sometimes 10 days. They actually now opened up a 20 day because for some people, 10 days is not enough.
Wow.
So they tell you what date starting from when to when. They tell you what date the registration period opens up. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. So I would try to register on one where it was a few days afterwards. I went on waiting list, never heard a thing. I registered at 7 a.m. for one of these. When I registered at 7 a.m., there's a women's and a men's separate quarters. So when men and women are separate applications because you do not see members of the opposite sex the whole time you're there. So men are with men, women are with women.
Mm-hmm.
When I looked at 7 a.m., the women were already on a waiting list, which means they had that many applications. The men took them till noon till they went on the waiting list. By the time men went on the waiting list, the women's was closed. They had already gotten so many applications.
Interesting.
It took 4 or 5 weeks till after I applied, and I got the confirmation you have been accepted. We'll get back to you 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before the actual event, making sure you are confirming that you're going ahead. And in which case, here are the rules, and you need to follow the rules. Are you ready for the rules?
Yeah. Let me know.
I'm not going to recite to you all the rules, but I found some of the rules very interesting. One is no sexual gratification of any kind.
Okay.
Understandable. You want to keep a level head. Fine. No killing anybody. I thought that was kind of assumed. Wouldn't it be that you're going with a group of people, like you're not, they didn't have this rule, like I would be able to kill somebody? I don't think so. But they make it, I believe that's rule number 2. You cannot kill anybody.
This just, doesn't that concern you in any way that they feel compelled to actually make that a rule and the second one on top of it? I like somebody's going to lose their mind maybe.
That's one of the things I have heard, believe it or not, that this is what I've heard from past students in many, many moons ago. I don't know what it is like now, but I heard like 10 years ago what it used to be like. Like you would have most people had roommates. So you're in like a little cabin, you got a roommate. You don't talk to your roommate. You don't look at your roommate. There's no conversation. There's no eye contact. There's no sign language. There's nothing. Okay. You can't. You can say, there's none of that. Chances are by day 2 or day 3, your roommate's gone. You just wake up one morning and they're not there. That people have apparently started screaming, crying uncontrollably, and bolted out of there as quick as they could because they couldn't be alone with their thoughts.
That kind of makes sense, actually.
Would you like to know the schedule?
I was wondering, what are you going to do all day? Like meditate 24/7 other than sleep?
So you're actually eating only twice. I eat 5 times a day right now. I'm only going to be eating twice. It's full vegan diet. There's no meat. Bye-bye meat for 10 days.
So no souvlaki, no...
Not even lamb. Not even lamb. For the vegetarians. My big fat Greek wedding, remember?
Yeah.
He's a vegetarian? Give him lamb.
Yeah.
There's no lamb. You're eating twice. The gong goes off in the morning at 4 a.m. So now that's what I was saying. I'm going to bring a clock because you're allowed to bring your own clock. So I'd like to have a clock. I like to know where the heck I am and what time it is because otherwise I have no cons whatsoever. But you hear the gong. Basically, from the time the gong goes off, you have each time an hour, hour and a half window that you can either meditate in your room or in the hall. There's a hall, like a group hall.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's different times you have a breakfast, you have a lunch. And you keep either going from meditation to eating, meditation. There's time that you can go for a walk on the grounds. They have beautiful grounds out there. And your instructor, your teacher will let you know. So there is a period, I believe, for 10 minutes or so a day where they give you instructions at the end. You have to listen.
So what to contemplate or guidance on your meditation? Or
I'm telling you, like tomorrow, my understanding of when I read it is tomorrow I want you in the group hall almost all day. And that time they'll come to you and say, I don't want you meditating in the group hall. I think you need to be in your room in isolation and you should be meditating there. So you come there, you show up on the first day, you show up between like 2 and 4 p.m. and they give you the whole orientation. You understand what's going on. They feed you and then the fun begins. And the next morning, gong, 4 a.m. and you're off to the races. So basically 4 a.m. till lights out, I believe 9:30 p.m. I'm up always till about midnight. So, and I'm usually up about 7 a.m. So now you're up at 4 a.m. You're done by 9:30. You are meditating about 5-6 times each day for about an hour, hour and a half each. You're eating twice. You get one break for tea. And that's it.
And what time of the year is this?
All year they run it, but I'm going in the right in the start of spring, almost near
Okay.
spring, near opening day of baseball.
So you might be able to do some outdoor meditation too, then, I guess.
Possible. I mean, I'll be able to walk, which is nice. I can actually be outdoors. And
There's walking meditation as well, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
But they made it very clear also. Any meditation you're doing, discontinue the use of that meditation immediately. We have a very specific way of meditating. We don't want to influence by your existing meditation. So forget everything you ever knew about meditation. We will instruct you on how you're going to go about the meditation. And you're going to start a different way when you're here for 10 days.
Well, I look forward to hearing about it because I'm somebody who likes my own alone time too, especially if you're the kind of person you're very social, you're talking a lot on the phone. You like that 2-3 hours or whatever it is where it's like just you and your thoughts. But 2-3 hours is a lot different than 10 days. Now, I will say I did a 10-week mindfulness-based stress reduction program. Very interesting. It was on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 9:30-ish or something like that.
Yeah.
And one Saturday was a full day silent retreat. So I think from 9 to 5, it was about 9 to 5, no communication whatsoever. And I found that both strange and slightly disturbing, may not be the right word. Uncomfortable. There, that's the right word.
That's the exact word I was thinking of.
Uncomfortable,
Yes.
but at the same time, I came up with some great ideas. It's because there was no noise, just my thoughts and my visions and my thinking about the present moment and the future. So it'll be interesting. You're going to come up with some really interesting things, I bet.
Remember in the book, I took a quote. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And honestly, the funny thing is, it's all in perspective. So let's say, for example, something comes up that's a difficulty in your life. You can stress about it. You can make yourself really uncomfortable and really upset and lose sleep. Or you could say, wow, I have an opportunity to grow. I'm going to get past this and I'm going to be so much better for it. This is fantastic. So it's all in how you look at it. I'm actually getting a real vacation. Like, I love taking road trips. I love it, love it. Me and my son Jeremiah, shout out Jeremiah at the Wreck Nissan. If you need a new car, go check Jeremiah at the Wreck. We love doing our road trips, but you're exhausted by the end of the road trip because you're constantly go,
driving. Yeah.
I haven't been to an all-inclusive in eons because I haven't gone on a plane in 5 years. And even when I do, I still bring my laptop. I still have my phone. I'm not fully disconnected. I don't remember the last time I didn't have a digital device talking to me every hour.
On vacation?
Absolutely, because running a law firm at Kormans LLP, like, I always felt the need. People need me, even if I have to forward the messages. I need to be accessible. Even though I go on for an hour, 2 hours a day, I cannot fully. And now
Okay, that makes sense.
I made a deal with one of our lawyers, and I said, "Look, I want to forward all the emails to you, so I'm going to keep my emails, but you're going to get a copy, and you're going to deal with everything while I'm gone, and then I don't have to think about it." And we handshook a deal, and boom. And I feel really good about that now, and I'm ready. You know what? I've been giving myself so many excuses, George. This is not the best time in my life. My son needs me. My work needs me. I'm not ready for this. I have too many things to go on the go. I got to accomplish. I can't make the time in my schedule. I gave up. I came up with every excuse possible. It took me 14 years. I looked it up in my emails. I looked into this for the first time 14 years ago.
Wow.
I'm out of excuses. That's it. If I'm not going to do it today, when am I going to do it? When I'm 80? I'm doing it. And the good news is once you accomplish the 10-day, then you can sign up for the 1-day or 3-day ones. But they do not let you do a 1-day or
Kinda like a
3-day.
refresher.
Right. And it's fun. But I
Yeah.
can't do those unless I do the 10-day.
Interesting how they do that.
They must have the reasons.
I think you're going to come back well rested too, because the one problem I found I had
Yeah.
with extensive periods of meditation is not always, but sometimes I'd fall asleep, which was also a sign to me that I was a little sleep deprived.
But let's talk about that for a second. If you are falling asleep during meditation, I don't see it as a bad thing. You are at such a level of calmness,
Oh yeah, it was great.
which means you're not talking a mile a minute in your own mind and making yourself spin in all sorts of directions. It means you were just being. And if you just fall asleep from that, that's great. To me, that's almost one of the purposes of meditation. So to me, you've reached that level. You're well on your way to meditation.
Well, when I was doing that, they said that I was snoring a little bit, so that was kind of funny. Everybody had a chuckle. So there I am. We're all doing a body scan meditation, then you hear me.
Love it. Love it.
And that's usually when it happens, is a body scan meditation, right? Because it's not about your thoughts. It's just about putting your consciousness and awareness in different parts of your body. So those usually put me to sleep pretty good.
So I come back and in a couple of months we'll do an episode and I'll tell you all about the experience. And I've found Nirvana. I am now in the full state of enlightenment. You ready to sign up?
Oh, you mean you're going to convince me to do it?
No, I don't have to convince you. If I tell you how great it is, you'll have to make your own decisions.
Yeah, we'll see.
I can promise you this. Regardless of how the experience is, I will share it with all the listeners, obviously. And wherever I'm at, I will never convince anybody to go. Same way I tell everybody with the book. They're like, "Oh, should I buy your book?" I'm like, "Hey, the book is here. I love it. Obviously, it's my child because it was born out of me. But you choose. You want to read it? Don't read it. No pressure. I always say, you live your life the way you want to. If you have any questions, come to me. But no, there's no pressure for anything. You want to do Vipassana, go for it. You don't want to do it, don't do it. Because the funny thing is, as people, we are not all the same. And sometimes one of us want to go in one direction, one of us go in a different direction. And if we don't have the same alignment for that dream and the goal, that's okay. That's cool because I can support you in your dream, even though that's not to say my dream and vice versa. And that doesn't make us bad people, you know?
Not at all.
And actually makes it fun when we're all a little different, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, your approach is more to invite them into the experience if they choose to accept or entertain it.
And it'll be on that note that we'll be back next week and we're going to talk about George Tremis' dream and talk about if it's in alignment with my dream. So funny how that kind of works out and things that we discovered during meditation. George Tremis, where can everybody reach you? Get your information. Please, let's share it.
George Tremis, you Google my name, you're going to find lots. I have a very rare last name, fortunately. And you can find me on social media, Instagram, George Tremis, YouTube, George Tremis, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of it. Just use Tremis. T is in Tango, R-E, M is in money, I-S, Tremis.
The women love him. The men want to be him. And he is George Tremis. And we'll be back next week on the Chosen Life podcast.
See y'all.